Hello, welcome to my sewing studio. I'm Mimi, and this is a part 3, the last part of my sewing 101 video series for beginner sewers. Today we're going to do our first project, and it's going to be a standard pillowcase. With an envelope closure. I am using a cotton sateen. If you're interested, I'll provide a link to where I got this in the descriptions. You can really use any fabric. I recommend not getting like a knit or anything with spandex or lycra in it. That's not stretchy. A woven fabric. And if you choose a print, use one that's kind of like an all over print, not like a stripe or a grid or prints. Sometimes there's like prints with like animals or people that are like upright, that's like needs to go all one direction. Those type of patterns are less forgiving, especially when you're beginning and you're kind of veer off and you don't cut exactly on the grain. And so be nice to yourself and don't use that kind of fabric. Use an all over print or a solid. All right, let's get started. So you will need 1 yard of fabric that is at least 45 inches wide. Most fabrics will be wider than 45 inches, so you'll have a little bit extra. This piece is 36 inches, so 1 yard, and each of these are 21 inches wide, and this one is 28 inches wide. So these are the two pieces that you will want to cut, one 21 by 28 and one 21 by 36. You will want, of course, scissors, some pins, let's see, measuring tools, and clippers, and of course your sewing machine. Be sure to have your bobbin wound and your thread, your matching thread, and your iron on and heated before you start. Now let's go to the iron, and this is the wrong side of the fabric. See, this is matte and this is shiny. You can't really tell probably on screen, but you want the wrong side facing up, and fold 2 half-inch folds, and you can just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. Ironing in folds makes it a lot easier to sew. And these are on the one short end side, doesn't matter which. One short end side of each piece. Try to get it as straight as you can. This one dips down a bit, doesn't it? Okay, now to the sewing machine. Make sure you're on your straight stitch settings. Stitch length is 2.5. The closest thread I had was brown, so oh well, it's not going to match exactly. Insert your bobbin and make sure both tails you have a long and good amount. We're going to sew looking at the folded edge. Foot down, press your foot down, needle down. Let's go. Back stitch. Remember, we're guiding, we're not like pushing in there, we're just only guiding it. You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch from the folded edge and stitch there, because you don't want to veer off of the fold, because we're trying to catch this fold and sew that down. Okay. There you go. Now let's do the other one. Make sure you have a long tail again. Oh, it's hard to grab. There you go. Remember to put your foot down. So many times I've given sewing lessons and people forget. Needle down. Be sure to back stitch. Okay, let's go back to that flat surface, the table. Now we are going to put the right sides together of the two pieces and make sure the shorter one is on top. Line up this edge, the finished edge, like that. Okay. And you probably want to pin. I like to pin horizontally so that when I get to the sewing machine, I don't realize that I pinned it the wrong direction. It's not my sewing direction. And you don't have to go crazy about pinning, but I would do like beginning, middle, and end. Ooh, let's do the middle here. I like these really thin with a glass head needle because if you accidentally go over them, they bend and they're less likely to break your sewing needle. Sorry, allergy season today, so I'm a little stuffy. And you want to fold the longer end like this. This is your envelope, and just fold it just, right up against this shorter edge. There. You should have, let's see, a little over an 8-inch fold. That's that part of the pillowcase that covers your pillow. And then pin this. I also like the glass head on these because sometimes I'm ironing with pins and my iron won't melt plastic heads. I've done that before. Okay, so now you are ready to sew. We are going to start from here. So 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around here, put the needle down, pivot 90 degrees, and then here all the way around, and then zigzag stitch and finish. And you'll have a pillow. It's super easy. Okay, I like to have the magnetic pin storing thing. What is it called? Pin cushion. Right next to me so I could just pull the pins out and have a place to put them. 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, needle down. Sometimes I like to hand crank the first few stitches, just so I know that the machine is not going to get tangled. Okay, so when you are getting to the end, you can hand crank it. You want to stop 1/2 inch before the edge, about. That seems about right. And then keep the needle down, lift the presser foot, and pivot. Put the foot down and start sewing again. here when you're catching this, just go over the edge before taking that pin out, just so you have it held in place by another needle. Okay, now it's in place. I'm going to take the needle out. Be sure to backstitch. Okay, now we're going to go back around it with a zigzag stitch so that it does not ravel. Make sure you pull enough tail on the threads. Switch to, what is mine, C? I'm going to leave it at 2.5. And you could just do it in the middle. I mean, in between. Sew the zigzag in the middle between the stitches and the edge of the fabric. I was told, I used to backstitch zigzags, and then another sewist told me that she doesn't because it's not a functioning stitch. And I found that it's true. Sometimes it causes problems when you're backstitching zigzag. So I'm just gonna do it, no backstitch. Okay, with the zigzag, you want it like a 1/4 inch, almost to the edge, because it's, moving wide. So you can hand crank it. Don't veer off of the fabric, but just get to the edge. Lift. Ah, that's a little too far. That's okay. I'm going to put the foot down, press the back stitch, and then I'm just gonna go back a little bit and then pivot. See? There, that's better. So I recommend now, since I had that little mistake in the back, stop like a 1/4 inch from the edge. I think that's a good amount. Yeah. There you go. Now I'm just going to trim off just a little bit of the, the edges that are a little bit more ravelly. Just to clean it up a little bit. Be sure when you do this not to clip the zigzag, because then it'll just all come undone. Just at the very, very edge of this fabric, I want to clean up a bit and make it all one length. This. This side. Okay, I get my table broom. And then what we're going to do is just flip it inside out. That part goes inside out, and then, or actually right side out, sorry. It was inside out when we're sewing in. And here's the pillowcase. Oh, there's a little thread here. And just poke out the corners with your fingers. Look at that. I love it. And then look how cool that looks. I mean, you have the zigzag stitch, but it's all the way in the middle or in the inside. And this kind of gives it a nice finish when you turn it inside out or right side out. You know what I mean. I'll put it on a pillow and show you. Here's the finished pillowcase with a pillow in it. And look at that envelope closure. You don't even see the pillow. I love it. I hope you like this video and this project. Subscribe and like, and thanks for watching.